All right, folks, welcome back to this channel. This road is taking us here to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're on the outskirts of downtown. You see behind me, we are here at the one, the only, you may have heard of it, Eastern State Penitentiary.
A place designed for quiet reflection turned catalyst for great change, Philadelphia's Eastern State Penitentiary was the first true penitentiary, and its system refined the concept of solitary confinement.
The founders of Eastern State were convinced that solitary confinement was a good thing, and that if every prisoner lived alone in their cell and never interacted with another prisoner, they might think about the crime that they committed, feel a sense of deep regret or penitence, which is where the word penitentiary comes from, and leave this place a better person than they were when they got here.
Founded in 1829, Eastern State introduced a unique design that resembled the spokes of a wheel. Long, isolated cell blocks with a central watchtower to survey the prison at all times.
The radial plan architecture of Eastern State has been replicated hundreds of times internationally. You can find prisons that look like this on nearly every continent.
Each hall dimly lit by a single skylight, reminiscent of the eye of God. Prisoners were expected to feel the full guilt and regret of their crimes.
That's the idea that starts Eastern State Penitentiary. That's around the 1780s, that we're going to change the way the world sees crime and punishment and say we believe in people. You got to remember, Philadelphia is a Quaker city, so it goes back to every single one of us has a light inside of us, and we just got to get back to that light.
The attempt at creating patience and prisoner reform grew into unrest, with riots, escapes, and overcrowding that eventually led to the prison's closure.
We now know that solitary confinement has really serious consequences on someone's mental and physical health, but that was less clear in the 1800s.
From the ruin came an opportunity to rebuild and redeem criminal justice in this country by using the past as a way to move forward.
We save these places as sites of trauma and of sites of change to say, what have we done well and what have we not lived up to yet today? We believe in criminal justice reform education. We believe in understanding our society through the lens of justice and fairness.
And with Eastern State preserved in a condition called stabilized ruin, history stands still for people across the world to see, making it easier to ensure that change and education does not get lost in time.
Sitting smack dab in the middle of this neighborhood on the outskirts of downtown is Eastern State Penitentiary, opened in 1829. Look at this thing. Isn't it something? We're going to be heading inside here in just a few. Making our way down this hallway. This is where you go get the self-guided audio tour, right through here. This is where you start out on the audio tour once you arrive inside the prison walls. The prison itself was designed by an architect by the name of John Haviland, who was the first person to implement the separate system of incarceration. Now, prisoners lived in solitary confinement with individual cells, exercise yards, and skylights intended for spiritual reflection. If you weren't aware, one of their most famous inmates here was Al Capone and bank robber Slick Willie Sutton. Look at these walls. It's amazing. And we're going to head inside one of the cell blocks. Look at this. This is cell block 1. Now, I did read that Al Capone had a very luxuriously furnished cell. And it was a stark contrast to the standard prison cells here. Now at its peak, this prison housed over 1,700 inmates. So you see that little door in the back of the cell? So during the audio tour, we found out that little door leads to the back of the yard where they can go out and exercise. Interesting. It's like, could you stay in here overnight? That's one of the restored cells. Look at this. We can go inside one of the cells. Wow. Here's that door where you can go out into the yard to exercise. It's so tiny. They did have a skylight, like I mentioned earlier. Here's the toilet. Wow. Now the shape of this prison was a little unique for its time. If you look at an overhead view, and I'll drop one in here, the cell blocks kind of fan out from the middle. It looks like spokes on a wheel. So it was definitely revolutionary and unique when this was built. So, look at this cell. Now I don't know if the cell Al Capone utilized is marked, but maybe we'll come across it. But look how big this one is. Here's another overhead model of the prison. See how the cell blocks all fan out just like spokes on a wheel. And I think this little area right here is the central hub. You see how all the cell blocks are marked? We just came out of cell block 1, but we're now about to head in to cell block 7. Wow. Wow. Now, we just found out on the audio tour that Charles Dickens wanted to see 2 things in the United States, one being Niagara Falls, and the second here, Eastern State Penitentiary. A little fun fact. Right outside of cell block 4, it's a little plaque to honor the inmates who served in the Army and Navy during the World War. Now we head into cell block 4. Let's see what little treasures we can find out here. Here's another fun fact. Solitary confinement was abandoned here in 1913 due to overcrowding and the psychological toll it took on the inmates. This is the yard. Look at that. You see the skyline of Philly right out there in the distance. Guard tower. Wow. Right out here in the yard, you're going to find the incinerator, and you can give that a read. Tells you about it. And here it is. Go around the side. You see inside of it here. So much history in this place. I mean, good grief. This is the morgue. It says more than 1,400 prisoners died here. It's all right inside there. There's a little history of Eastern State in ruins. Again, feel free to pause it so you can read about it. It's very interesting. And what you're looking at here, Elizabeth pointed it out since she is in the medical field. This is the medical ward. You see a little plaque, you probably can't read it, but it says hospital recovery and visitation. But this portion where they housed the sick, all down here. Down there as well, it's where they house the pharmacy operating room and the tuberculosis cells. This is cell block 5. They don't let you go too far in here. Sure, you can see why. This place. Can you imagine, would you stay in here overnight? Just you, by yourself, all alone. Man. This place is absolutely incredible though. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it overnight though, not by myself. I might though. It just depends. What do I get? Do I get a few $1,000s? Maybe. I don't know. It's something though. We found the portion of the prison where they do the haunt every Halloween season. It happens out here. Halloween nights. This would be cool to visit. It's a massive Halloween festival containing haunted houses, historic tours, themed bars, live entertainment, and so much more. Looks like a lot of it goes down right back there. Just a few more fun facts. Now, this prison closed down in 1970. As you can tell, it's now a historic site and museum. It's open to the public for daytime tours. And as I mentioned before, haunted attractions. It's known for its paranormal reputation, and Eastern State is considered one of the most haunted places in America. The facility now is a National Historic Landmark and an icon of prison reform history. It remains a powerful symbol of innovation and the darker side of incarceration. Down this corridor, we have reached the restored synagogue. Let's go in and take a look. Oh, wow. Not sure what this is. Oh, they have a synagogue, the audio tour as well. Wow, look at this. There's a lot of good history it's telling you about in the synagogue. Look, they're in this picture here, you see the doors behind those guys. And there are the doors right there. Look at this. This is what the synagogue used to look like. This was in the summer of 2004. And it was restored in 2009, but the room we're standing in used to look just like this.
Testing pastrami, corned beef, whether it was turkey, roast beef, and then all sorts of fruits and vegetables, on that we'd bring in. for them for the holidays.
We have located Al Capone's cell. This was his? But then again, the plaque does say it also could be this one on the left, so it's one of these two. Look at that. Like a apartment living here at Eastern State for Al Capone. Oh, the cell on the right says could also be his, but so it's one of these two. All right, so I highly suggest if you're here in Philadelphia, if you come here to visit, this is a must. You know, if you're a historian, if you like haunted places, or all the above, I think this is a cool place. It's just like Alcatraz. If you're in San Francisco, you just have to go see it. Places like this are anomalies. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you're ever out here for the Halloween season, this place is also a haunt. So it opens up where you can come in and get scared. So keep that in mind. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little tour through Eastern State Penitentiary. And with that being said, we will see you down the road.